Hello students, my name is Gaurav Bansal, and in this video we are going to discuss a very important topic, and that is how to approach the mains. Now we know the PT is over and all of you have gone through that torture. It was really tough this year, tough for us also, not just for you aspirants. Okay, I may do well in my subject area, may do well in one or two more area, but to do well in all the areas is difficult for everyone. We are also consumer of knowledge like you, so it is difficult for everyone. We know that. Even CSAT was also difficult. So there are many students, in fact, who are doing well in GS, but they are getting caught in CSAT. I mean, it's unfortunate. I'm not really laughing on anyone. Okay. Now, coming to the main question now, what to do? You have gone through your PT, now what to do? So, first of all, PT marks. How much are safe? How much is decent? Okay, who should be, let us say, sure about their result? In CSAT, we know it is qualifying examination, so students are mostly clear that whether they are making it or not making it in CSAT. Those who are at edge, where the key of the institution is not same and there are one or two questions which are different in different keys over there, you are also stuck. Your score is between, let us say, 60 to 80, then all of you are in that doubtful range. Those who are around 60, if their two of their question get correct, okay, they will immediately come into the clear category. Then those who are 80, if 3-4 of their question by the way are wrong, which they are evaluating to be correct, then they will go into the other category. So roughly anybody from 60 to 75 for sure is in this edgy area. Those who are above 75, they can consider themselves to be safe in CSAT. Okay. But anybody above 60 should be prepared. Very, very clear. You should never leave the hope. Nonetheless, the PT marks. So after talking to a lot of students and many of my colleagues, what we believe is regarding PT is, or what is my personal opinion, is that it would be somewhere between 75 to 80. It could have been 80 plus actually, had CSAT not been that tough. There might be many students who will actually score better 80 plus here, but will not qualify in CSAT. So combined group, which is going to clear CSAT and then qualify here, is actually going to be around 75 to 80. That is my belief. And that is what most of the teachers and other people also believe. Okay, some say 80 to 85. Some say 70 to 80, many say 75 to 80. My personal opinion is also about 75 to 80. Now, it will be seen later what happens. Now, there is a lot of variation in the keys also. So again, anybody who has a score, which is, let us say, 65 to almost up to 85, 90. All of these are in dicey range. Those who are around 90, 85 plus, they're mostly safe. Okay, just in case they have a very, very bad luck, then only they should be in trouble, but otherwise they should be pretty much safe. Above 85 should be safe. Okay, 90 plus they are guaranteed almost. Okay, they're for sure there. 85 to 90 almost there, but just for something, not because the cutoff will be higher than 85, that will not happen, but some of their questions which they are believing to be correct may not be correct, so that may happen. Nonetheless, anybody above 90 is sure. Okay, so they definitely are preparing, but anybody who is scoring above 65 should also start preparing, because those who can get lucky, they can crack. Okay, some of their question which they are evaluating to be wrong may be correct, and that will immediately shift their status. Nonetheless, I've told you about the cutoff. So anybody who is scoring above 65 in GS and above 60 in CSAT should be preparing for the mains. And anyways, result is going to come very soon, so it would be very clear. Now coming to the most important side, how to prepare, how to approach for mains. So the most common question that I get from students is regarding the time management. Sir, time management कैसे करें? Optional को कितना पढ़ें? GS को कितना पढ़ें? Total कितना time दें? How much time we should allot for optional, for GS and for overall? That is often a question from the students. Now, let us say optional should be 1/3 of your time and GS should be 2/3 of your time. Okay, GS plus SA, this should be 2/3 of your time. So let us say you're preparing 6 days in a week. One day you should definitely allot to some rest and some revision. One particular day you're going to cover up your sleep. Okay, if you're not able to cover up your 8 hours of sleep, then one day you should take proper rest. Okay, you should not waste your time, but should take proper rest. ऐसा नहीं है कि संडे को सारा दिन वेब सीरीज देख रहे हैं. No, not that. You should be taking rest, and then for 6 to 7 hours you should spend to revise what you have covered in the entire week, because retaining is going to be very important. The nature of examination is such that you have to retain and recall in examination hall. It's not PT where you will see information and you can recall with the help of that. So in the mains you have to retain and recall, and retain and recall will improve more and more with revision. So it is very important you are not studying for more than 6 days, and one day only for revision, rest, relaxation, eating well, okay, your own personal welfare. That is a good strategy, provided you are not flunking on these 6 days. ऐसा नहीं कि बाकी 6 दिन पूरी नींद कर रहे हैं, सब कर रहे हैं. No. So 6 days you are going to allot 2 days to PT, sorry, optional, and 4 days to GS. Now this is not a very fixed formula. There might be some students, those who have not completed their syllabus for the optional. For such student, the idea is they should spend 10 days continuously right now and should complete the syllabus first, because that is going to create a panic later on. अगर आपका syllabus complete नहीं है और जून खत्म हो जाता है, if you are already into July, okay, and roughly let's say 75 to 90 days within examination, before the mains examination, if your syllabus is not complete, then it is going to create a panic for you. So at least 75 days before examination, all your syllabus should be complete. So according to your schedule, you should target that. My suggestion is, if your syllabus is not complete for optional, first just dedicatedly spend entire time on that and complete that. Okay, that will bring you out of panic. Otherwise this panic will be there and this will affect your confidence continuously. So it is very, very important to get that monkey out of your back, okay, and complete that. So do that, the first thing. If your optional syllabus is complete, then for revision, answer writing practice, and for, let us say, analysis, question paper review, etc., for that you are going to spend 2 days. Okay, review of notes, updation of notes, linking with current affairs, that is what you are going to do once your syllabus is complete. And then 4 days in a week for GS and essay. So that is, according to me, the best way to prepare. Then some students say, sir, I spend every day for everything. Means I cannot spend entire day studying my optional. I want to study both GS and optional every day. For them, my strategy is, suggestion is, let us say you spend 9 hours per day. Okay, 9 hours per day before mains is not too much. This is, I think, is what you should be allotting. Apart from that, 1 hour per day for newspaper. So 10 hours you should effectively be working for this time. If you're not able to work 10, perhaps 8, 9, but you should try to get close to it. This is good enough. So if you are working this much, then perhaps 3 hours per day for optional and 6 hours per day for GS and essay. But according to me, this strategy doesn't work very well. Every day you should read newspaper. Every day you should revise for the previous day. Okay. Every day you should complete and prepare one subject thoroughly. Okay, you should not be switching subjects very quickly, because that, according to me, doesn't work very well. But again, it is an individual thing. Some of you might be very comfortable with that idea. They need constant change. I need more consistency. Maybe somebody works better that way. So it's up to you. But there are different options. One of them is this, that 9 hours per day you devote 6 hours GS and 3 hours optional. So that is also a way. Okay. So either way you should approach. So that is about the time management. And before, this time management is only when your syllabus is complete. If your syllabus is not complete, first complete that. Until that, no strategy, nothing will work for you. So पहले अपना syllabus complete कीजिए, क्योंकि अगर syllabus complete नहीं है और exam में सिर्फ 2 महीने बचे हैं, 2.5 महीने बचे हैं, तो आपको panic होने लगेगा. You're going to panic and that panic affects your productivity very badly. It is also going to create stress, also increase chances of falling ill, which will create more wastage and more panic. So it's a vicious cycle. इस vicious cycle से बचना है हमें. We need to escape that vicious cycle. So first complete the syllabus. This is the most important thing here. Okay, so first complete syllabus, then work this 1/3, 2/3 time division plan, and then there are specifics how to prepare for current affairs. So for that you should first need to be very clear about your syllabus. If your syllabus is complete and your notes are complete, then with your notes what you do, you mark keywords in your notes. Write keywords with every topic under that. For example, in GST I can mark 10 keywords in different places. For example, tax reform, that GST, how it is related to tax reform. Then with GST, we are also going to prepare the tax buoyancy, okay, tax policy, okay. So likewise, there are different keywords that we are going to link here. Once we have linked those keywords in our syllabus, then whatever we read in newspaper, we try to identify the keywords in the newspaper. If there is something regarding tax reforms, try to identify if it is related to GST, if it is related to corporation tax, if it is related to general tax reforms, or is it about a new tax. So accordingly, you will relate it to that particular broader topic in your syllabus. And accordingly, you will indicate, okay, so this is related to that topic in my syllabus. And today, what I have read, a lot of it is already there. From today, only 2 to 3 points are new that I have learned. So you are going to take those 2-3 points. You cannot remember each and every article in newspaper. That is impossible. So you need to map the current affairs with your syllabus. But how this mapping would be done? ये mapping कैसे करेंगे? Relate कैसे करेंगे current affairs को syllabus से? So first, identify keywords, direct keywords, indirect keywords in your syllabus. And also when you are reading newspaper, identify keyword in that news. ये news किस विषय पे है? ये news किस topic पे है? Okay, on what topic the news is. So you identify that news. Once you have identified news, then you relate it to the keyword. Okay, once you have identified the keyword in the news, you relate it to that part of the syllabus. If it matches, then you can understand question can be a mix of that topic plus this new issue, that in the context of this new development, how do you review GST, for example, or how do you review the digital payments in India, or how do you review the inflation strategy of India. So it can be anything, a stable part of the syllabus with some new development. That mapping we need to do. अगर आपने मैपिंग कर ली तो आपको एग्जाम में ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, लेकिन ये मैपिंग करने के लिए हमें 2 से 3 बार रिवीजन करना पड़ेगा. यू नीड टू रिवाइज एटलीस्ट 2 to 3 times in order to do such a mapping. That is why revision is so important. Every day you revise for the previous day. Then at the end of the week also one day dedicatedly only for revision. ये जितना आप रिवीजन करेंगे ना, इसी में आप ये कीवर्ड आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे. Okay, so more and more you revise, more and more keyword linkages you will do, and that is how you are going to remember that current affair in the context of a news. Without context, nothing is useful. If you remember the news that this happened, but you do not understand their context, you won't be able to use that information. Okay, for example, there is a news about certain committee, you read it, but you do not relate it to a particular topic. Let us say question come on GST. Then Bibek Debroy gave a statement about GST indirectly. He talked about tax reforms. Within that, indirectly GST was there. Now, you answer a question in your examination, whereas very recently a very important policy maker in the country has said something about GST. You are not going to include that because you have not related those topics. So अगर आप ये keyword link नहीं करेंगे तो ऐसे miss कर देंगे news को. You do not have to miss the news. You have to link the news, and that is how your brain is going to retain all the information. Library में जैसे होता है, हर चीज को identify किया जाता है. Okay, in the library, how do you catalog the things? You catalog it with certain words, with certain, let us say, letters, with certain numbers, with certain markers. That okay, this is the keyword, or this is the code for this subject. This is the code for this subject. Each subject is arranged according to the code. You do not have to search, you just have to go and look in a specific place. You do not have to randomly search. So if that is the mechanism, very easily information can be found. In library, a well arranged library, where it is very easy to find books. But in a haphazard library, which is not arranged, it is very difficult to find books. So your brain is also like that. You need to do structuring of that brain. Your keywords are actually going to be the mapping of every information in your brain. If your brain is settled with the keywords, with the information, it is going to be very, very easy for you to identify. Okay. So current affairs only possible when you identify keywords in syllabus and keywords in current affairs. Relate them. Or let us say I'm using keyword, but basically the core concept. Okay. Keyword is just a term, okay, for the core concept of the news as well as your syllabus. So in दोनों को link करते रहो and you will be able to solve. Then writing practice is very important because what you think is not what exactly you express. Many times when we say something, we feel I could have said this better. मुझे ऐसे कहना चाहिए था या मैं इस बात को ऐसे कह सकता था. I could have said it like that. Okay, this session is bilingual, so it is for everyone. Hindi medium, English medium, general students. Okay, so everybody should be able to follow it. There is nothing which I have said in Hindi that I have not repeated in English. So English medium students should also be very clear that they are not missing out on anything. Those who do not understand Hindi, some people from southern India, northeast of India, etc. And Hindi medium students, obviously, they are also not missing out on anything. So I'm repeating everything here almost. So writing practice is very important because many times we feel that we have not written it correctly. I could have written that better. That disappointing feeling remains there. Okay, how to remove that disappointed feeling that I could have done this better? By doing more and more writing practice. By that way, you will learn to write. You will practice to write what you are thinking. Okay, उसको correct expression से लिखना हमें आएगा. We will be able to write it exactly what we want with the correct expression. That way, there will not be misinterpretation in the examination. बहुत बार हमें लगता है हमने ठीक लिखा है, लेकिन जब एग्जामिनर उसको चेक करके बताता है तो आपको बहुत कम मार्क्स मिलते हैं. In the test series also sometimes you feel that okay, oh sir misinterpreted this or I couldn't express clearly. ये express clearly कब होगा? जब writing practice करेंगे. अब कितनी writing practice? How much of writing practice? At least about 10 questions per day. So every alternate day you're writing a test either for optional or for GS or writing an essay. Every week ideally 3 tests you should be writing. Okay, that should be the minimum, and with that you can manage the things. Okay, so every week, alternate day, 3 hours you will be spending in writing. If you can manage that, that is excellent. Can't manage it, okay, हर कोई नहीं manage कर सकता है, तो 2 टेस्ट कम से कम लिखे. 2 is the minimum, 3 good, 2 minimum. In 2, how you are going to manage? Okay, every week 1 optional and 1 GS. Sometimes instead of GS or optional, okay, every alternate week you leave either optional or GS and you write 1 essay. So every 2 weeks you are writing 1 essay. So by the time of examination, you would have practiced about 8 or 9 essays, bare minimum. Not 8 or 9, sorry, 8 or 9 tests, bare minimum. So about 16, 17 essays you would have written. And similarly, enough of your GS and optional will also be there. Bare minimum will be there, not enough actually. Enough will be there when you're writing bare minimum of 3. So that will ensure some good writing practice, minimum writing practice actually. Okay, so that is what you need to do. Now there are many students who those are not able to join test series or who are writing extra questions, how they are going to self-evaluate, how to do self-evaluation. That is also a very tough thing to do. So on that I will actually do a separate video on strategy, but today I will talk about a bit. According to me, one of the easy way, the way I used to do it when I was a student, that I would try to get a topper's copy or a senior's copy. I was living in the Delhi University hostel, so some of my senior would also be doing writing practice. So what I would do, I would take their copies, those who were ready to cooperate. Not everybody is cooperative. So those who were cooperative. Okay, so for example, one of my senior, Dr. Gurnam Seni, wherever he is, should be blessed, excellent person. So Dr. Gurnam Seni would easily give his copy, let us say, in the hostel. So I would take his copy. Now to ensure what he has written is useful for me, I will first just look at the questions. I will take those questions and I will write questions, only those questions. Now I have answers to the same questions that he has also practiced. So what I can do, I can write first written mine, then I'm going to compare my answer with his answer. Now, of course, that senior must be some good person. Okay, if you're going to use someone as a benchmark, that must be a good person. In my days, I was preparing in 2006. So that is almost 16, 17 years ago. So in those days, all these toppers copies, internet was not so common. So these were not available. Nowadays, you have a lot of topper copies. You do not have a problem. Download topper copies, identify the questions there, write the same questions, then compare your answer with the toppers. Preferably, take question where 2-3 selected candidates have written answers. Write that, compare with each of them. Okay, some of the points one must have covered, some other points other person must have covered. Identify what is common between them. Those are the essential points. Then what is the additional each has written apart from the common point, that is value added. Identify how much compulsory point you are covering. Compulsory you must be covering. Value added can be different in your case. So आप लोगों को क्या करना है, टॉपर कॉपी डाउनलोड करो, टॉपर कॉपी में से क्वेश्चन निकालो जिसपे 3-4 आंसर अवेलेबल हो, उस पे आंसर लिखो और फिर सबसे कंपेयर करो. जो सबने लिखा है वो आपका भी होना चाहिए, क्योंकि वो सबसे जरूरी पार्ट है. अगर सब उसको लिख रहे तो आपका भी मिस नहीं होना चाहिए. और जब आपने वो लिख लिया तो समझ लीजिए एक बेयर मिनिमम नंबर आपको मिलने जा रहे हैं. फिर डिफरेंस रहेगा वैल्यू एडिशन का. उन्होंने किस तरह के एग्जांपल लिखे, आपने क्या एग्जांपल लिखा, उन्होंने क्या डेटा यूज किया, आपने क्या डेटा यूज किया. सो ऑल ऑफ दैट इज गोइंग टू बी देयर. So that is what is going to be my strategy for you, my suggestion for you, okay, for your self-evaluation. Do that, okay. And at the end, final words. So in economics, datas are very important, okay. So again, my suggestion is do not try to mug up datas. Do not try to be very, very specific with data. Remember the trend, okay. Every teacher must have told you the same thing, by the way, because whatever is the central common idea, everybody is going to be there on the same page. So do not bother too much with data. एक जनरल आइडिया लीजिए कि ओके अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इतना है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट रेट इतना है, ग्रोथ रेट इतना है, इन्फ्लेशन इतना है. जनरल आइडिया इज ओके. If inflation rate is 7.55%, it's okay if you write 7 to 8% in examination. So you must have a broader range. So do not bother with the decimal points too much. Okay, ऐसा नहीं हो कि वहां 7.55 है आप 9 to 10 लिख रहे हैं. That would be wrong. Only decimal points, or if you are not able to recall data exactly, maybe you can write 7 plus. Even if it is 8.1, still what you have written is not going to be very wrong. Okay, that growth has continuously been more than 6.5%. इस तरह से लिख सकते हैं. So data, there are ways of representation. Then which data is important, which is not important, on that I will do a video. Okay, so on self-evaluation and on data interpretation, I will do strategy videos. So I will provide some strategy videos for the mains. Apart from that, I promise you to cover the NCRTs. So NCRTs chapter by chapter is going to start very, very soon, means only 2 days. In 2 days it will start, and very soon I will cover all the topics. Once I start, delay will not be there. Delay was until I started doing it. Once I will start doing it, then there will not be a delay. Okay, so very soon you will start getting that. Okay, most probably tomorrow, or not tomorrow, then Monday. Okay, on Monday you are going to get your first video for the NCRT also. For now, this is what I have to cover. I hope this has been useful to you, and if it is useful, kindly share it, drop comments what you think about it, and if you find this strategy useful. And also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, subscribe the channel and create word around it. It's a very small and beginning channel, and it can really do well with your support. If you think it is providing good content, support it in spreading about. Thank you.